everything else.
That was great. Okay, so poppin' Twinbee. I'll start it off this time around. Um, Again, much like the original Twinbee, this game is just so colorful and beautiful. Like the original Twinbee, even for being the Famicom game that it was just popping with color, and we absolutely adored it for that. And this game is just taking full advantage of the power of the Super Nintendo to make it even look even more colorful, beautiful. You even have those cute little colorful cutscenes in between it. This game is definitely very cutesy anime style, but I adore it for that because that's really what that's up right up our alley. Honestly, we just love the cute graphics going around, and you know, yeah, is again double whammy because it's a good looking Super Nintendo game and it has the cute graphics that we already adore. As far as the gameplay, there's a lot more systems in this one than there is in the first Twinbee, which is great. We didn't really take full advantage of it because we were just kind of like figuring it out. But I feel like we were just having enough fun just going around shooting the enemies. And as long as both characters don't die at once like we did at the very end, you can just keep going. And that's awesome. We appreciate that a lot. Like, yeah, we could have definitely kept going, but I like how it was all turning out. What are you thinking so far?
Yeah, I agree with all of that, and I thought it was very, very fun. It did just remind me of the first one we played, and then some. It was just the colors, the graphics, like it holds up so well. That really does, and like the style of game it is just really fun because you can just jump in and shoot your way to the end and keep going. I could totally play that like for hours.
Yeah,
I just
honestly.
get shoot to the end and yeah, the little cute anime style kind of cutscenes and imagery, it's all very good. And the enemy types, I mean, who throws pandas at you? That is so random.
Yeah.
Absolute, it's so good though. Yeah, I really enjoyed that.
Yeah,
It
honestly,
was awesome.
it was wonderful to see. Yeah, again, and that's the other thing that I didn't touch on. Like the enemy types are just as wacky as they were in the first game, maybe even more so. You had some normal enemies, like just like regular enemy ships, but then you just have the other wacky enemies thrown in there too.
The forks had definitely been upgraded. Their visuals were more forky in this one.
Oh yeah, they really
Uh,
felt like they were gonna take a bite out of me. That's really what does give this game like even apart from the gameplay and the everything, it's the enemy types that really puts this game like apart. Because again, back in season one, you and I played a Gradius together, which was very much like I guess a realistic-ish like space shooter. While Twinbee is very much more just colorful and just pleasant to
excuse
look
me.
at. You won't really see anything like this, especially on this console. Maybe even today, because you
Oh,
know,
I could. This just made me want them to like remodel it now, put a lick of paint on it, and it would look. It would be. I don't think it'd do that badly, you know, that sort of
no,
game.
no, not at
Bring it
all.
out for the Switch, remastered, do a Ghosts and Goblins on it, and then
Yeah, yeah. No,
yeah,
I agree. I agree. But apparently we missed five. There's apparently four other ones that we don't know about too.
yeah,
Like,
true.
yeah. So
I'm so confused how they got four in between then
I really,
that
yeah,
that.
that definitely merits research. Like, I would like to know more about those and why we don't have them on here. Maybe that'd be a bit too many Twin Peak games. Perhaps they just thought one on each system was enough. And to be fair, they're
Yeah,
not
true.
wrong. I mean, the first Twin Peak that
I
we
mean, it's
played
a
on NES was perfectly fine, and this one was that, but even better. Um, I definitely don't think like if I had to choose, if I could only play one or two of these Twin Bee games, it would probably be this one, just because it was just that, but a lot better. But
hmm
I also don't feel it negates the past one because it did have its own identity as well. Again, you could have the Twin Bee and Win Bee hold hands to like do double shots, and that's a mechanic that
hmm
didn't really come back in this one. So that alone, I think, still makes the original one still worth playing, even after playing its sixth entry later on here on the Super Nintendo. But
They must have been churning them out.
it must have. It gives me almost Mega Man vibes because I remember Mega Man games were coming out quite frequently during that era as well. They somehow managed to get six of them on the NES alone before they finally
Mm,
did seven on Super Nintendo after some of those Mega Man X games as well. Yeah, I guess it must have been the same thing. I can only
yeah,
imagine that this game must have been a real hit in Japan if they managed to get that many out. But I just
yeah,
get
it must have been.
I get the feeling that there's probably just like they said this is the sixth one, but I have to imagine that there's a lot of them that just, even apart from the Switch service, that just never came to U.S. shores or even European shores. Even I'm wondering if this might have even
Yeah.
been the only one they actually bothered to localize in any region. Wow, it's just
Yeah, because it
crazy
would
to
have been a
think.
lot different back then as well as in terms of what they would have localized.
Toby, I have to ask you this. Maybe they felt that both Twinbee and Poppin' Twinbee games were just too colorful and too anime for a U.S. audience or a European audience to enjoy. But if they had localized them, do you think they would have found an audience? We're talking in the context of the late '80s, early '90s. Do you think it might have found an
Mm,
audience if they had given it a chance?
I don't know. Yeah, I'm not sure. I think for a business perspective, I'm not sure it would have. No,
Mm,
not as much
you you
as
might,
the other region
yeah, you
in
may be you
like
may be right
Japan and
on
stuff.
You may be right on that. It's just I also think about games like Kirby. I could easily see a world where the first half of Kirby games just would have never made it here because they thought a pink
Mm,
puffball wouldn't appeal, and somehow it did. That's all that, and that's the only
yeah,
reason I asked
yeah,
the
true.
question, honestly, because in a world where Kirby, even in its first half, was still managed to be pretty successful, and this one wasn't given a chance. I don't know. Maybe it's just, Kirby's also like not anime, and also anytime a Kirby game comes to the West, Kirby always suffers from the angry face syndrome. Where in Kirby games, like his box art, he's always just so happy and go lucky. Whereas in the English one, they'll give you the exact same box art, but now he's like angry faced. It's just like
Oh,
so.
really? I didn't even know that. That's
Yeah,
crazy.
no, when we're done here, I have to show you some comparisons. But one of the ones I think like Kirby
Yeah,
Superstar, like it's just Kirby just like all happy, like doing his pose, and it's the same exact pose in the American, but it's like this, like angry
angry,
and determined, but he's still doing the same
frowny
pose
face.
because they think that an angry Kirby is a little more marketable, even though I personally don't think it matters that much because he's still like a little pink puffball. But but that is one thing I always liked
Yeah,
about Kirby
definitely.
anyway, is that he's adorable, but he will kick some serious ass. Like
He will inhale you in a second and
he has
spit you back
slayed
out and steal your abilities.
honestly, Kirby in his series has slayed gods or enemies that have like godlike powers. Marissa says, "Well, it was because those little boys playing video games. We couldn't have pink characters." Right.
Oh yeah.
Even in the original Kirby's Dream Land for the Game Boy, like because they had Kirby in white, like Kirby like on
Mm,
the box art was like white. It wasn't only until later games
hmm
that he had his like pink color. Yeah, Kirby games are successful in spite of themselves, at least in the first half. Now we're in an era you can put down any kind of character and there will be a market for it because that's how much games have grown, and I'm very appreciative of that. I'm glad that we live in
mm,
a society where you and I could sit down and play Twinbee together, up like from miles and
definitely.
miles apart. Even that's like we do live in like in a wonderful time of gaming and connectivity. But
Indeed, indeed.
that tangent aside, I will say yes, 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 yes. Poppin' Twinbee does hold up. It's much like the original did. Poppin' Twinbee is incredible, and if and again, much like the original Twinbee, you could play this game by yourself, and I'm sure it'd be fine if you just enjoy your vertical shooter. But this game, much like the first one, is made to be played with a friend. I really do feel that way. Like this is a game you really want to have a friend even at your house or like online like we did, and also I don't know if you noticed, but our bars on the top left there have been atrocious, but we suffered no lag whatsoever, and
Oh
that's it.
yeah, yeah.
And that's something
That was
that's
pretty good.
yeah, that's something that's attributed to the Super Nintendo app itself. Like I think they heard the complaints with the NES app, having just terrible, terrible lag for NES
Mm,
games. So I think they changed like the net code for Super Nintendo games so that it would have less issue doing so. Like again, my bar currently is at 0, and yet we experienced no
mm,
lag whatsoever playing either Pilot Wings or Poppin' Twinbee, and that's incredible. So I'm glad that they had
hmm
that improvement. That's more of a critique of the Super Nintendo app in general,
Definitely.
and less the game itself. But I just wanted to point that out. Yeah, no, like,
Mm,
and especially, but like, if you do have a friend that like does have a connection, then you'll probably be more inclined to play Pop and Twinbee just for that reason that you won't have like the experience the lag in that case, and you can just like have a seamless experience, no music lag, no gameplay lag, just enjoy with friends. Yeah, play Pop and Twinbee and play with a friend. That is the way to play this game. Very colorful, very very fun to play. And if you really want to get into it, again, there's a lot of gameplay stuff that we didn't figure out. But you could, if
There
you
was
could,
probably a whole variety of stages we did not even touch.
yeah. But you can
Like,
experience that yourself when you play and have a little more time to like kind of play around with that to all of our
yeah,
wonderful
definitely.
viewers. So yeah, Poppin' Twinbee, love it. Last thoughts?
So thumbs up, massive thumbs up. Yeah, loved it too. I definitely hold. It holds up.
It
I would
def-
prefer. There's completely different games, but yeah, it's a win for Twin Pop and B, and or a thumbs in the middle for Pilot Wings for me.
yeah, I agree. Middle thumbs, pilot wings, thumbs up, popping. This is a lot of fun, and you know we do live in a time where people aren't flying as much, so I'm glad we could offer you guys, everyone, two wonderful adventures where you're just high in the sky until we can go fly again.
Hmm, definitely.
Well, that was a lot of fun. Okay,